The conflict between Iran and Israel escalated dramatically after Israeli attacks on Iranian targets. In response, Iran launched a series of retaliatory missile and drone strikes that caused explosions in major Israeli cities such as Tel Aviv and Haifa. These attacks marked one of the most serious direct confrontations between the two countries in recent years. 1. Background of the conflict: the Iran-Israel rivalry has existed for decades. But tensions increased sharply after Israel carried out strikes on Iranian military and nuclear-related facilities. Iranian leaders called the attacks a direct act of aggression and vowed retaliation. Soon after the Israeli operations, Iran announced that it would respond through its armed forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. 2. Iran's retaliatory missile and drone attack. Iran launched a large wave of missiles and drones toward Israel as retaliation. Reports indicate more than 150 ballistic missiles and over 100 drones were launched in multiple waves. The attacks targeted Israeli military bases, strategic facilities, and major cities. Iran described the operation as Operation True Promise. Air raid sirens sounded across Israel as the missiles approached, forcing millions of civilians to rush to shelters. 3. Explosions in Tel Aviv. One of the main targets was Tel Aviv, Israel's economic and technological center. Several missiles managed to bypass Israeli air defenses and hit parts of the city. Buildings were damaged and emergency services rushed to the impact areas. Rescue teams pulled civilians from damaged structures. At least 22 people were reported injured, some seriously. The explosions caused widespread panic as residents recorded missiles and interceptions lighting up the night sky. 4. Missile strikes on Haifa. Other major target was the northern Israeli city of Haifa, which hosts a large port and industrial infrastructure. Reports from the attacks indicated Iranian missiles struck areas near the Haifa port and oil refinery complex. The fires and damage were reported at industrial sites. Around 30 people were injured in the Haifa region. Energy infrastructure disruptions raised concerns about fuel supplies in Israel after refinery facilities were damaged. 5. Israeli defense systems. Israel attempted to intercept the missiles using its layered defense systems, including Iron Dome, David S. Sling, and other missile defense technologies. Most of the incoming missiles were intercepted, but some still penetrated the defenses and caused damage in urban areas. 6. Regional escalation. The attacks increased fears of a broader Middle East war. The conflict involved multiple actors and regions. Iran launched missiles directly from its territory in allied locations. Other allied groups in the region also fired rockets toward Israel. International leaders called for immediate de-escalation to prevent a wider regional war. 7. Humanitarian and political impact. The escalation caused serious consequences. Civilians in both countries were forced into shelters. Infrastructure and residential buildings were damaged. Global markets reacted due to concerns about Middle East instability and oil supply disruptions. World leaders and international organizations urged both sides to stop further escalation and return to diplomatic solutions. Conclusion: INS retaliatory strikes on Tel Aviv and Haifa marked one of the most significant direct confrontations between Iran and Israel. The missile and drone attacks caused explosions, injuries, and damage to infrastructure while raising fears of a wider regional war. Although most missiles were intercepted, the incident demonstrated how quickly tensions between the two regional powers could escalate into large-scale conflict.